The reason I came here is because I love the sea. I love the fact that I can swim in the sea.
The first thing that comes to my mind when I talk about my company is creating addresses.
My fiance is very much into organic farming and aquaponics and hydroponics. And
if you know where to go, where not to go, I think you're very safe anywhere in the state.
I think Goa's cuisine is unmatched compared to anywhere in the rest of India.
There were 5 countries around the world and multiple locations around India. But again, Goa is our biggest market.
I personally feel Goa is incredibly safe. I've never felt unsafe being in a bikini on a beach.
Keep watching, okay? Curiosity is why all of this social media has come around in terms of asking questions, and the world is now rotating all around the question why. And that brings us today to Goa. We're trying to do something called Go Goa Growing. There's so many tabulations about Goa. And as WFM Media, it's our job to be able to, I picked up this job to be able to make sure that we can talk about cities in India which are growing. And most people don't even know why there's growing. There's so much rumor mongering thanks to this beautiful social media. So the objective was to actually use social media for an actual cause and make sure that we talk about, in this particular episode, was today's Goa. We'll talk about the past, we'll talk about the present. Goa is all about beaches, shacks. Now it's turned to paddy fields. It's a 24-hour city where everything is 24 hours. It's been there like forever. We're going to talk about Goa's premium luxury housing, villas. We are in one of them as well. My curiosity got me to Goa after many years. My curiosity got me to buy a home built by a gentleman who's right here today. We're going to talk about celebrities in Goa, why every industrialist, celebrity, cricketer and whatever have you have homes here in Goa. What's happening in the real estate market? Is it worth it? Do you get a return on your investment? And today Goa's gone or it's still there. We're going to talk about infrastructure and lifestyle. Infrastructure, which I mean roads, water, electricity, and the whole ecosystem, the culture of Goa. And we take about to a next aspect about the game changers who have actually played the last few decades of changing the game of Goa, where they came from, where's the money coming from. And then about being responsible, sustainable, building homes or villas or infrastructure which is sustainable for our future generations, for our children. And the kids love Goa, by the way, as all of you know. They love to party here. And we talk about Goa 2030. So the reason that I'm fully confident that you'll be able to listen, and you better listen to what we're saying, if you like Goa, if there's a little touch point in your heart which talks about Goa, which thinks about Goa, it'll be interesting for you to listen in, because the people who are here with me today are people who have actually born and brought up in Goa, built in Goa, and had a lot of deeper connect, empathetic to a living connect in Goa. So with that as a premise of this conversation, I'd like for each one of us to introduce ourselves with who they are and what's their connect with Goa. And I'll start with the Miss Pooja Bedi.
All right. Okay. I'm Pooja Bedi, known as an actor to many of you, and I don't know how many of you who are watching this podcast know that I'm into holistic wellness for the last 30 years, whether it's been research, accreditation, certifications, diplomas in forms of alternative healing. I have a company called Magicians of Wellness. I've basically been coming to Goa a lot as a kid. My parents brought me here a lot in those days when there was nobody on Baga apart from hippies on the beach. And it grew into a Goa that I obviously fell a lot in love with. And I moved here in 2012 is when I bought a home here. I come from Bombay. My home in Bombay is, I have a beautiful penthouse right on the sea face in Bombay, and the waves of the sea come crashing to the gardens of my building. So I came to Goa not for staying by the beach. I came to Goa for land. I came to Goa because I wanted a beautiful plot of land with an old Portuguese home, like a villa. I wanted to have my mango trees, my chiku trees, my papaya trees, a pool. I wanted to be able to grow vegetables and have this really organic, beautiful life. And that's exactly what I bought into. Yes, I did. Yeah, of course. In fact, my fiance is very much into organic farming and aquaponics and hydroponics and EM in the soil, and he sort of rotates all the garbage and the washing, the water and everything else. So we're very into a certain kind of lifestyle that we bought into in Goa to live a certain way in Goa. And I must say that since 2012, 2012 till today, which is 2025, Goa has undergone this most dramatic change, which I'm sure we'll talk about during the course of this podcast. And it's been to me, it's grown, and it has potential to grow into something even more tremendous, which again we can talk about later. So that's my story, and then I bought into Goa in 2012. Been a happy homeowner here. So that's my basic story.
So also guys, Pooja has just invited us to her home in Bombay for dinner, and we want to see the sea breeze coming. So all of you are invited, thanks to Pooja, and we probably shoot at Pooja's place the next time. So keep watching, okay?
That's when we do the show in Mumbai.
Yeah, done.
Check the tide before going.
The date will be announced before the end of the show. Keep watching.
My fiance is a boat builder. Just take his boat and dock right outside my building and come on in.
Logistics, Nikhil, you have a logistics job now, so it's all done. We're set.
Oscar,
okay, Oscar.
Come on, your intro.
Hi guys. So thanks for inviting and giving us this beautiful platform to speak out and have some fun. Oscar Lima Pereira, Goan by birth, Goan by heart. Representing my company Equiknox. The first thing that comes to my mind when I talk about my company is creating addresses. So we try to create boutique addresses. What better testament than an existing happy client here?
I made a lot of money in Oscar's Villa. I bought it as X and I sold it as 2X just a couple of years later.
So all of them say.
Pooja's a great customer to have. All she had to get was 2 coffees for saying all these nice things. That's it.
Amazing.
So yes, that's my introduction. We build beautiful homes, build relationships with our clients, and hence happiness.
You're like 100% Goan.
Absolutely.
Born and brought up.
Born and brought up. Yes.
Nibhrant.
You're butchering my name.
You told me. You said Nibhrant.
No, I do say Nibhrant.
Okay.
I paid him.
No, I don't mind any. It's most people say Nibhrant. Many people say Nibhrant. I say Nibhrant.
So Nibhrant is half Parsi, half Gujarati. So you might want to explain.
I'm half Parsi, half Gujarati. But more importantly, my wife is Goan or half Goan. So my link to Goa is very similar, to Pooja. I was born in Mumbai. I was brought up in Mumbai. I, worked abroad. I was an investment banker, etc., etc. And then came to Goa, as a kid, right? Came to Goa on a holiday, did the whole Baga thing as well, through the 90s. And then I think it was 2011 or 2012, moved back to India. And then, my first holiday was Goa. And I was like, wow. I remember it as a kid and this is amazing. Thought I'd buy a home like you, Pooja, and didn't like a lot of stuff up there. I didn't say any of your work, Oscar. Otherwise, Isprava, our business wouldn't exist, and didn't like anything. So decided to build a home, and halfway through couldn't afford the home and the regular stuff, and decided to sell that home, and then built and sold another home and another home, and that's how our business came about. So my company is called Isprava, and we build these really beautiful homes across the country, but mainly in Goa. We then have another brand called Lohono, which is our hospitality business. So you can go onto our platform and rent out a home, but it's at a luxury level. So it's like renting a hotel and a home. There we're in 5 countries around the world and multiple locations around India. But again, Goa is our biggest market.
So just for reference, this is an Isprava home, which I have maintained by Lohono. Happy customer so far.
Yeah, thanks. This is one of our.
I paid myself.
He's trying to negotiate his negotiation season for the next financial year.
There's a side deal going on. I'm just adding on to the side deal. And we also have a side deal.
Also, the coffee is good.
Also by Lohono.
Yeah, but this is one of our oldest. I think it's 6 or 7 years old.
4 years.
Yeah, and love Goa. Spend a lot of time here. Like I said, my wife is half Goan, have family here, and spend now half the month here and the other half of the month in Mumbai.
Awesome. Yeah. Atul.
So Atul Pai Kane, born, brought up in Goa. I stopped going to the beach when they started coming to the beach.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are welcome.
So did my schooling, college, everything in Goa. Since Goa changed over the last 55 years. So my company, we make electrical equipment and we supply electrical equipment to most of the home builders in Goa.
So I would say this home is also powered by...
This home is also powered by Pai Kane gensets. We got into solar for sustainability a few years ago. And that's what we've been at. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess whatever you're going to understand about everybody, but I want to make this clear. So people who are going to talk, whatever we're going to talk going forward, is from what their beliefs are about the city, the state of Goa, because they are from here. every celebrity, cricketer, industrialist, and I remember from the older times with the Malia mansion, which is the only thing that I knew from the long time ago. Everybody that we think that we would know has a property in Goa, a villa, a mansion, an apartment. Why, Pooja? Why did you choose?
So I have a group called the Goa Stories Group. It's a WhatsApp group. I'm admin of this group, which has about 400 plus homeowners. And it's a great resource as well as a community for everybody who's bought into Goa. And yes, there are a lot of celebrities on this particular group. There are all walks of life. And of course, well-established, well-reputed people who have a certain quality of existence in Goa. Anything you need, be it, where can I find a snake catcher, or where can I get... Yeah, because I mean, these things happen. So where can I get a good snake catcher?
Sometimes they're human.
And the thing is, the thing is, you don't want to kill a snake, but you want to, maybe rehouse or relocate a snake, where it's not poisonous to your family.
To his house. To Amit's house.
two things like, where can I get a generator, or where can I get a good pool guy to tile a pool?
Okay.
Where can I, what is the latest hotspot in town? Where's a good place to go shopping for XYZ stuff? It's a great resource group, because the moment somebody puts a question on, there are so many different opinions and suggestions that come through, and quality suggestions that come in, which is very useful for everybody.
It's like an inside Google. Trusted Google.
A trusted Goa Google service. And so that's 4 admins, and I'm one of them. And it's been great for us. And I think the reason everybody bought into Goa at that point, there are various stages.
So guys, you have to listen to this part. Why everybody bought into Goa, and why you would want to buy into Goa.
So everyone has bought in at different stages, right? So at one stage was, say, for example, around the time I came in, which is in 2012. At that point in time, people came here for a very idyllic life. To me, Goa represented multiple things, but for me, the reason I came here is because I love the sea. I love the fact that I can swim in the sea. In Bombay, I'm on the sea face, but I can't jump into that water. It's filthy and it's polluted. So I love the fact I can go to the beach every single morning, run on the sand barefoot without fear of, getting all sorts of things stuck in my, being injured, or stepping on shit like happens on Versova Beach. And the fact that I can jump into the ocean, into the sea, and swim to my heart's content. There's sunshine, there's trekking, there's rivers that you can do outdoor activities in. In a city, you're very constrained by a lifestyle which is largely to do with dining out or going to friends' places. In Goa, you have an outdoor life and a lot of tranquil space to just be, to breathe, to enjoy your hobbies, your activities, and a wonderful circle of friends. The community that's built up in Goa over the last, I think, 15 to 20 years is a great, not just a resource and support group, but a great sense of community.
Would you think that would have attracted everybody else to have come to Goa as well?
Yes, largely so, because if your friend buys a home, then you also buy a home next to your friend, and then you have a space where you come and go together, and you have, first you come and stay in their homes, then you buy another home next to them, then another friend joins in. I know lots of friends who bought into the same complexes as each other, because it again serves as a space you can come to, and it's comfortable for them. And everyone loves Goa because it's a happy place. It's a place you can come to for great cuisine. Today, I think Goa's cuisine is unmatched compared to anywhere in the rest of India. The quality of food that's come out. There's a Homeowners group, right, where a lot of people come in because they love Goa for being Goa, which is they're very happy to partake of the art scene. So both Karika's got a museum of Goa here. He's doing amazing stuff, the film festival takes place here. There's a serendipity arts festival that takes place, which is phenomenal. You have the beaches, you have nature, you have wildlife, you have community get-togethers. Yes, it's Goa. You have to be in Goa for Goa. You cannot come here to create Delhi in Goa or create a city in Goa. You've come here for Goa.
I think no city is replicable per se. Goa is not replicable in any other place because Goa has its culture, heritage, and ecosystem.
And that needs to be maintained. And
for sure. That's our job to at least put it out there. Nibhrant, so you probably have sold homes to most celebrities and the like. So why do you think they want to buy here?
First and foremost, Goa is a vibe.
It is a vibe.
Right. You have beautiful beaches across India. You have the East Coast, you have the West Coast, you can go down to Karnataka, Maharashtra, Orissa. You have the beautiful beaches, you have the seaside, you have treks and you have animals and but what Goa has is a vibe. And what is that vibe, right? First of all, you can't fully define it.
What is the Goa vibe? It's a feeling.
Yeah, it's a feeling, right? you come to Goa, forget coming to Goa, you get on a flight to Goa and you know it's a flight to Goa.
The mood
Right?
changes.
The vibe on that flight, you know is a flight to Goa, and those same people could be put on a flight to anywhere else, and you know it's a completely different vibe, right? And that vibe over the years, I think it started from being quite accepting, which was different from the rest of India. You could be who you wanted to be. You could dress the way you wanted to dress.
There's a Goa wardrobe, I believe everybody has. Right?
You're respected. You're accepted, right? And I think till very, very recently, all that worked quite well, right? And as long as you didn't come in someone's face and you follow the broad and very loose guardrails, you were accepted and you were allowed, and that doesn't happen anywhere else, right? You spoke about a foreigner on the beach in a bikini. Nowhere else in India would that even work,
Correct.
right? And that's a very extreme example. But across the board, the fact that any of us, right, I could come in and start building homes, or you could come in 2012 and really settle down and become a local without shouting out I don't know how that could happen anywhere else, right? And that is Goa. And that then allows everything else, right? That allows the art galleries, and that allows the best restaurants, and it just becomes.
And the nuisances are a part of the whole deal.
Sorry?
It comes with the nuisances come with the package. Everything can't be like picture perfect.
But again, the nuisances, again, it takes.
But despite all of that, Nibhrant, despite all of that, why are
the ratio is tilting
Guys, so
unfavorably.
I will add here
Exactly.
that there's a price that you have to pay for tourism.
Right.
I mean, Saint-Tropez is the most popular destination in the world. It's a fishing village for the rest of the year.
Right.
And those 3 months, it is something else. So there is a price. You go to Thailand, you go to any destination. So we can't have both. So there is a price you got to pay for tourism.
So having
That's
said
something
that,
we need to accept, and how to have a balance.
stemming back,
and you see what are the repercussions of the tourism? What the repercussions could be garbage, right? So let's have better garbage systems, sanitation systems. Let's put the systems in place to deal with the excesses of the tourism. Let's have certain kinds of policings in place. So a certain welcoming ecosystem which welcomes people into the spirit of Goa and yet deals with the excesses of tourism that is unfavorable in a systematic, methodical, government-induced way.
but having said that, coming back to the same question is why all the celebs and XYZ are buying homes in Goa. I want to get an answer to that, so I will move
It's
to
a
the
vibe.
next.
It's the only place you can live in nature. If you want to go to the beach, if you want to never go to the beach but still the best restaurants in the country, be surrounded by like-minded people, whether they're from Goa or not from Goa, and it just become this little island.
Paradiso.
And then there's a flip side. People talk about price and say, oh, for $1 million I get something on the beach in Greece. I said, yeah, you can't send money out of the country.
Correct.
Right? I mean, LRS regulates it. You can't. This is a 1 hour flight away from Mumbai and Bangalore, and 2 hours away from Delhi, and so on and so forth. So it's this almost like this. It's a perfect storm of a vibe created by people, and then you layer on all the other social infrastructure.
Correct.
Right? You can have the best Italian meal in India in Goa. You can't
True
have
that,
that anywhere
totally.
else in India, right? Or in any other holiday.
Italian, Japanese, you name it. All
You name
time.
it, right?
Atul?
And that's what it is.
I think Goa's the most.
We've killed your
And
Goa.
sorry,
is
can
it?
I just add,
Yeah,
can I
please.
just add one
No.
more thing? And finally, ultimately, people buy an asset, right? And in this case, a home, because they believe they're going to make money on it, right? Ultimately, you may not be buying it primarily as an investment. You might be buying it because of the lifestyle, etc. But you want to know you won't lose money on it, right?
Fair point.
And I think that's another thing about Goa.
That's something we're going to talk about in the
right?
times to follow.
Ultimately, you know over time you're going to make money on it, and that's because supply is limited, demand, and we'll talk about that.
We're continuing the same discussion in terms of why the celebs have bought, people have bought, and rich people per se, or is it affordable for everybody to buy a house in Goa? Oscar, your 2 cents.
So now imagine the pressure of a celeb or wherever he lives, Mumbai, wherever, until he arrives and is out of the airport in Goa, where he meets his driver, knows his driver by name, and he's suddenly in a different world. Pressure's just off his head. He's got privacy, he's got a very open-minded community here. He can go to any restaurant without people hounding him. He's got his amazing home. So this is what draws it. It's also, like everyone else agrees, it's a way of life here. People decide in advance where is going to be the sundowner, where is going to be the sometimes sunrise, which restaurants are we going to do what, and all that excitement grows probably much before you arrive here. That's the whole thing of Goa. Today we should not also, we should also be aware kind of music festivals going on here, the kind of DJs. I would fly to Ibiza to see these guys perform. Today, connectivity. Today, we have flights which are starting now on the 1st of April from Bhubaneswar to Goa. I've got a client who's a member of parliament from there. He would be waiting, in transit, blah, 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 all the effort. And now he's got a direct flight coming in here. So imagine you've had a bad day at work and you have a home in Goa, you have your car, you have your lifestyle, you have everything packed up here. You just head straight to the airport, you land in Goa. You've had a good day already.
And you chill and then you finally go back home to the mess.
So I mean, we've been catering to sellers for a long time. I don't see any one of them, whatever their homes may have appreciated 500 times, they've not sold their homes here because they're connected deeply here.
So it's not about buying that, acha, I have a house in Goa for the sake of, main Goa wala ek, mera bhi
There is
ek.
a deep connection between Goa and this particular individual.
I would say it's privacy, it's lifestyle, and also quality bonding time. What happens is when you come to Goa, the same friends that you've had a relationship with in your own city or through your social circles, when you come to Goa, there's a certain kind of bonding that takes place when you have people staying in your home, where you're interacting with people not just across a one meal thing, but you're spending days and days together, right? I feel my relationships have bonded and cemented and been taken to the next level with all my friends, irrespective of how closely I have known them in the past. And I find that really amazing. And I find those kind of relationships very nurturing. It's been able to grow in an environment like this. I've enhanced the quality of my life by being in Goa. I've experienced a certain lifestyle here that I cannot possibly have in Bombay, though it may be a more upmarket life in Bombay. But what Goa gives you is the perfect balance between that world and this world.
So also you're in a free space.
I will add one point here, a very, very important point, guys. For example, in Bandra, what would 6 crores get you? Example, 6 or 8
Value
crores.
for money here.
I would be buying a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
And governed by everyone else living in that building. You can do this, you can't do that. I don't know what life is about. And for, say, 8 crores, for $1 million here, I have my own space, my pool, quality living. I can, like yourself, grow my own veggies in my backyard.
Absolutely.
Go for a morning walk, take my dog to the beach, and do all this stuff at that price. It's very important to note the value for money of what you're spending here. The homes that I'm sure Nibhrant will agree with me, the homes that are bought under construction, until we deliver them, they've already appreciated 20%.
Yeah.
We've had celebs who've come here and then they are hounded by brokers and they see so much and they're so confused and they say, let's go back home and decide. And when you go back home, you again stuck with your work. And 6 months later, you come back and buy the same home at 20%.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah, all the time. And there's one last thing about Goa.
अच्छा लगा तो ले लेना भैया, wait मत करना. It's going to grow.
And there's one last thing about Goa. The culture is an equalizing culture. And I'll tell you what I mean.
Please.
You will see a billionaire and someone who's not a billionaire dressed similarly in their shorts and chappals, driving, the same car,
The Baleno is the most famous here, by the way.
Yeah, or the
Sometimes
Swift.
they arrive on a bike.
Yeah, the Swift,
Sometimes they ride on a bike. That shot will come.
But the point is, you're not judged by the car you drive or the clothes you're wearing.
Correct.
The old hands here kind of look down upon the guy who comes in his fancy car.
I agree.
And in the fancy gown with the handbag, and you're like,
I get picked up by Atul all the time. I don't have a car, so I would drive.
God, it's the true people who get Goa. Even the millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires, they get it, right? They're wearing the chapel. You don't know. They're just relaxed. They truly Goa. It's only this new Goa that comes with a fancy car and a fancy handbag. And that's the beauty of Goa, right? That expectation just falls away. You're just relaxed.
It's so
and
true.
you are who you truly are.
True. I have like a BMW car in Bombay. I have my driver. And
Again, you're
everything else.
talking about the bride.
Okay. I have a luxury car in Bombay,
Right.
like a driver, etc. And in Goa, I have a cute little quid.
Yeah.
Okay, cute little quid I drive around, and my myself, and all my friends who come here, they're like, Pooja, why are you driving? Where's your driver? And I'm like, this is the joy of being here.
Big
and
deal,
and that
man.
was the manual
Big, yeah.
car, not even the automatic. Because I enjoy the thrill of the manual.
It's
so I
not
can
just-
run manual, there isn't bumper to bumper traffic that you have to keep changing gears. It's wonderful. You know, I love it. I love speeding around in my little cute quiddy. You know, it's a joy.
Atul has been dying to say something, and I want to give the cue to him. He's going to burn us
one of the
alive.
points, and I think I agree with a lot of the positives which they've brought out.
So
but one
Atul
of
is
the
again
things-
100% born, brought up, bred, everything Goan. So everything very authentic.
So I think that Goa is one of the most hospitable places. The people here are among the most hospitable in the world, and that shows up in the culture, right? They're very welcoming. There's very little that will be judged, and then people, are expected to live normal lives. By normal, I mean you going on a bike. Nobody's going to object to it. Nobody's going to think of you as low, high, whatever. So, and then there's the quality of air, which you can't get anywhere else in the country right now. The quality of air here is really pure. So my home, I've got an AQI of 8. Sometimes
Really?
less.
So we presume that the AQI here is pretty much as
So I
good
just
as...
saw it at 45. When I got off, it was 45. But I'm sure around this place will be much lower. But I'm saying that's the kind of quality of air that you can breathe. So a lot of people who moved here, especially during COVID, have moved here for the quality of life that they can live, the healthier life that they can live as well. And value for money goes without doubt, like Oscar said. With 6 crores, what can you get? 12 crores, what can you get in Mumbai?
Or anywhere in a
Or
bigger
anywhere
city.
else,
Anywhere else
near
a bigger
big
city.
So here you can get a really luxury place.
So is it Nibhrant still attractive to buy a home in Goa? Second home, as you would call it. A second home is a fair word to say, right?
Absolutely. Look, number one, right? You should want to own a home in Goa. You should want to own a holiday home or a home outside the city. Why do people buy, right? Number one, because they want the lifestyle. Like Pooja said, you want to grow your own vegetables, you want to go to the restaurants, go to the beach, go to trek, you're one with nature. For the 6, 8, 10, 20 crores, you get a lot more land and a lot more space and a lot more greenery with the clean air, etc. Secondly, it's because you know that there's going to be capital appreciation. I think, Oscar can attest to this. The last 10 years, right? And I'm not talking about COVID, I'm saying pre-COVID or even the last 12 years, there's been a secular upward trend when it comes to price of real estate. And then the beauty of owning a home in a location like this is you can monetize it when you're not using it. That you buy, suppose you're an NRI.
So I want you to extrapolate this aspect about monetizing while you're not using it.
Right.
Is it a post-COVID impact thing?
No, it was pre-COVID as well, but it's kind of strengthened.
Kind of
post-COVID.
pivoted from there?
It absolutely, it kind of jumped up. Think about it, right? Say you're an NRI in Singapore.
Okay.
You want to buy something in India, your family is in Delhi. You have 10 crores to spend. Now, you could go and buy another apartment in Delhi, but
Right.
what do you do with it?
Right.
When you're not there, you most likely then rent it out. But you're renting it out to a permanent kind of renter or lease.
Like
or
an
whatever you
occupant,
wanna
like-
call it an occupant. So when you go back to India, you don't necessarily use
can't
the house
use it.
because you can't use the house, right? And then your rental yields will be depending on the city you're in. If you're in Mumbai, you're 1%, and if you're in Delhi, you're 2%. But that's where you're kind of hovering.
And you have non-occupancy charges there. Here you don't.
Absolutely, and then you have the other stuff, the non-occupancy charges, etc. You come to India once a year, you come with your kids, and then suddenly you're like, oh God, okay, I'm not rented out that house, but I need to live in Delhi, and I have to breathe that air, and I have to get stuck in that traffic, and I have to just live a life that I don't want to necessarily live. So why don't I buy a place in Goa? Number one. Number two, you have companies like ours, like Lohono, but there are many other companies that will manage it for you and monetize it for you by renting it out while you're not there. And these are short-term rentals. It's like renting a hotel room. So you then have bought this home. Your home's being managed for you. Your home's then being rented out. You're earning money on it. Your rental yields, net yields can range from 4% going to 6 and 8%. You then get to use the house when you do fly down with your family and friends, right? Invariably, it's around December, Christmas, New Year's, etc. So you actually use the home, and the rest of the year, your Indian family. That means your grandparents, your cousins, your friends also get to use that home.
Correct.
So suddenly you're saying, okay, if I spend 10 crores and, I might get a 3-bedroom apartment, or I get this beautiful home garden, and then monetizing it. So I'm earning a return on it, and it's being managed. So it becomes such a kind of beautiful package that you put together. It becomes a no-brainer, right?
If I were to add one thing, I am a living example of this aspect of these houses that you can own everywhere, and I bought a home here.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between a house and a home. The money that I'm going to make, whatever he's promised, is yet to come. But having said that, to be truest, and I don't want to sound non-authentic, but I'm sure it's somewhere in the pipeline as people rent homes. But I think this is a very logical point, and you can call it an extension of an Airbnb, your home air. This is the concept which started there.
I think about it a bit differently. Okay, there are two aspects. One is why buy a home in Goa?
Right?
See, Goa, land is a limited commodity.
Right?
Okay, Goa is mostly right now, land is rare. Number one, because we are stuck with tenancy laws, we are stuck with comunidades, we are stuck with CRZs, we are stuck with litigations, we are stuck with slopes on hills. So whatever existed is diminishing quickly. So appreciation of land here is always going to exist. Guys, I think it's the last decade that you can buy a horizontal home in Goa. Next is going to be the same story of going vertically up. So now is the time, where there is still land available. Today, people are compromising on titles and stuff like that, which we never even heard of 3-4 years ago.
Now I have a topic which goes forward.
And the second point, which I wanted to bring out, are the rentals. Imagine now you stay in a 5-star hotel in a 20 square meter room.
Right.
What is the difference in being in Hyderabad and Delhi and anywhere else in the
Fair
world?
point.
It's that same damn room with your Nespresso machine, with your same layout. Here, for that same price, you rent a villa. You're connected to Goa.
Yeah.
You go out, you take a walk in the village, you meet a local villager, you had a conversation, you've ordered food from 3 of your favorite restaurants and you eat it by your poolside. Your kids are experiencing what it is to own a home.
Yeah.
They own a 50 crore apartment in Bombay, but they don't know what it is to own a home.
Agreed.
So this is the experience, and these people who rent these villas eventually are converted into clients.
So would you think that everybody that you think that you could know of or you've heard of already have homes in Goa? Nibhrant, you would have sold it to so many, and Oscar yourself as well. And you would have powered them, Atul.
A lot of people who we know have homes in Goa today, and those who don't are already planning
Buy.
it.
Don't wait. I'm just telling the people to buy. I'm gonna shift tangent a little bit, and I think, and just to stem from the. Sorry, please.
I just want to add one thing. Oscar just mentioned that this is our last time chance to really in this decade buy horizontally because we're going to go vertical. And I think these are the things the government needs to take stock of. That we don't change the identity of Goa because people come to Goa for Goa, right? We come here because there's villas, there's certain ecosystem, tranquility, and also certain visual and aesthetic. If we had to go into these vertical high-rise buildings suddenly coming to Goa cease to be Goa. And we have to also think about what Goa represents and what the future of Goa will be. Do we want Goa to be a vertical high-rise place? Do we want Goa as a future going forward? What does the government see for Goa going forward from here? As I said, there are about 4 or 5 industries that are crucial to Goa's economy. I'm into wellness. Okay, and the global wellness industry is about $6.2 trillion as of this point of time.
Oi.
India has about a $500 billion share. Wellness tourism is huge as a global market, growing more than medical tourism now. And we're looking at in 2017, we had 53 million or 56 million tourists that came in for wellness tourism, and we generate about $63 billion just in wellness tourism.
Pooja, can I extrapolate on wellness tourism a little bit here?
So wellness tourism, people who are coming there for wellness reasons. For example, they come in for spirituality, for Ayurveda, for yoga, for naturopathy, for different forms of wellness experiences, right? So that level of tourism, people are coming here for that specifically, right? So Kerala being a large attraction, Rishikesh in spirituality, etc. Now we have these kind of figures coming out. Now, if you see Goa, and what Goa once represented, right, was tranquil beaches, hippies, etc. We then grew into raves, party, drugs, rock and roll kind of mindset that came in, and that became the brand of Goa. And you say, where's the future of Goa in all of this? And I feel that given the fact that we have these beautiful beaches, we have nature, we have an ecosystem where there's so many people who do yoga and healing and artistic stuff, Goa could very well be the epicenter for wellness tourism in India. Kerala is known for Ayurveda, but Goa represents and has the infrastructure and ecosystem to support something amazing in wellness tourism. I mean, India should be number 1. In 2017, India was ranked at number 7 in global wellness tourism. It should actually be at number 1 given how much we have to offer. And if Goa can be the epicenter of that, and the infrastructure, the ethos, the vibe, what is catering to wellness increases, then Goa is on a very good wicket going forward, because then we do without the crass people coming in, the litter bugs coming in, because whoever's into wellness represents wellness on multiple levels. There's the 8 dimensions of wellness, right? There's mental, emotional, physical. There's spiritual, there's environmental, there's sexual, financial, so we have these different verticals of wellness. And when you're in a wellness state of mind and a wellness ecosystem builds, it takes an entire state forward, right? The people behave differently, the tourists behave differently. You're catering to that. And I think what Goa at this point really needs to do is take stock of the future. What is the next moment? And this is the perfect time because of the kind of unfortunate bad press that Goa has been getting recently. The levels of tourism that are declining.
I beg to differ here.
Same here. I beg to differ as well.
Please differ.
Imagine.
If you go to quality,
I will step in here.
people.
I fly very often. I don't see a seat on a single aircraft.
Talk
which
to the
is
taxi
vacant.
drivers. Talk to the taxi drivers.
No, but where are they going? Obviously, they are not tented up somewhere.
Hey, she, chal.
You fly from ask the taxi drivers. The taxi drivers say, "Madam, koi nahi aata. Pehle itne 6,000."
I think what's stopping are these big tracks with 12 humans in. That's the kind of tourism that's less, which is good for our clients.
You need to talk to the locals, and even Airbnb. Like, say for example, my mother-in-law's property is an Airbnb. Before it was sold out continuously. This time we saw almost a 50% reduction. And when you talk to other homeowners, they're again talking about a 50% reduction in their sales. So there is definitely hotel rooms.
Pooja, that supply as well. The number of rooms from 3 years ago to now, more than double, triple.
Fair enough. but
Exponential
also-
increased. Last evening we were at a restaurant, 10 o'clock at night. We had to wait 45 minutes for a table.
Okay, I walk into restaurants and it's absolutely empty. And I'm on a
Middle of the
restaurant.
week.
I'm
It's
on a
the aura
restaurant-
that you take,
I'm on a
yeah.
restaurant owners group. Okay, and
Goodness me.
I'm a restaurant owners group, and I know from them and the number of restaurants that are constantly shutting down good restaurants because there's just not enough clientele for them. And that is something we need to take stock of.
Pooja,
There may
one-
be a few, what they call the flavor of the moment restaurants that open up, which are then suddenly packed because everyone wants to go to those restaurants. But what happens to the expanse of restaurants that are already existing? They're not getting the number of clientele and footfall that they should be getting. So we need to cater to an environment that allows these wonderful hospitality ventures, builders who are building amazing villas, etc., to get that kind of quality person coming in because there's a quality experience and catering to a very quality environment that we should be creating for Goa.
Guys, one thing we are
reached out.
avoiding, we have avoided in this whole conversation is there was a time until December, I would say, Mumbai Goa economy flight was 15K.
Right.
One way.
Right.
Guys, we are wondering why the footfalls were less. At 15K, look at the options this guy has.
Correct.
I could get a flight to Dubai at 8,000 rupees. I could get right now, things have corrected. Today, you can go back to buying a 4,000, 5,000 rupee ticket.
It's also to do with algorithm, but I think with everything, I think Goa is still liquid. It's still kind of shaping up.
Very
so there's
liquid.
going to be an up. It's like stock market. It's like going up some days, sometimes so there are factors which affect. But a lot of this media bullshit and social media and Instagram crap, somebody puts up a camera and says, I am walking in Goa, the streets are empty. Like, okay, screw you. I think end of the day, the real people here can tell you more about Goa when they have the experience of living here all their life. I wanna add one more question, and especially Pooja to you. Is Goa safe for women? Why I say that? We send our kids here, we're younger, and families come and girls travel together. Comparatively to other cities, how is Goa safe today? Was it safer before? Has it changed? Just as a paradigm for people who want to just send their kids out, because a lot of parents have this issue. I don't want to send my bachas akela and blah blah. How safe is that element?
There are a couple of reasons that make a place unsafe and a couple of reasons that make it unsafe. A drug scene, for example, would make it unsafe. Lewd, molestation, rape, etc. would make it unsafe, right? So crime and a drug scene, right? Those two things are generally classified by parents as safe, unsafe, especially when it comes to their kids, right? I personally feel Goa is incredibly safe. I've never felt unsafe being in a bikini on a beach or walking in a tiny pair of shorts and walking in restaurants or walking on the road for that matter at 3 a.m. in the morning also. I've never felt unsafe in Goa. It is a very, it also depends where you go, who you hang out with, what is the ecosystem of the place that you're within. These are things that common sense and logic and intuition and instinct play a very important part. Who you're with, who are your friends who are supporting you, there's a support system around you, who's watching out for you. There is evil in every part of the world. There are bad people in every part of the world.
Fair point.
Right? So Goa, if you have to take it on a scale, Goa is one of the safest places to ever be in. And I love that about Goa. I have no dread when my daughter steps out or goes to clubs or goes to restaurants or goes to the beaches. I have not a fear in mind that she's out, because I know she's with a good group of friends and in places that support safe living.
That's an ecosystem, no? Safety is an ecosystem.
Absolutely.
You step into an ecosystem, you feel safe, then you feel also your soul kind of starts to liberate and say, okay, mujhe ye karna hai, and you can do. Atul, anything from your end?
As long as you stay away from the drug scene, I think Goa is a very, very safe place to be in.
Stay away from?
The drug scene?
The drug scene, yes.
I think it's a very safe place for children, anybody to be in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying that if you know where to go, where not to go, I think you're very safe in Goa, anywhere in the state.
We should talk about some rules around what a tourist should and should not do when they come to Goa.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about
here
Goa.
is another feature.
The etiquette.
Do's,
Yeah, just the
don'ts
etiquette,
of
because it's
in-goa
not-
from somebody with the great experience. Nibhrant, go for it.
No, I said what.
No, go for it, bro. We set the rules, man.
We're talking so much about Goa. What we're not talking about is the rules that, and these are not rules, but at least what people should follow as a tourist or even a homeowner, someone who wants to be domiciled here, when they come to Goa. Because Goa is unique. Goa is not any other place in the country or even the world, right? And what is that, right? Number one is it's fundamentally a very peaceful state. It's a very accepting state, and therefore you are expected to be peaceful, right? You are expected to not kind of push through, your views, your
Impose.
lifestyle, not impose. Goa is the only place in India that if you're driving down a village street and that person's high beams are up on their headlights, they turn them down, right? It's the equivalent of opening the door for a lady. Do that, right? In everything, in the way you drive, in the way you speak to someone, the way you treat staff. I mean, just across the board, there's a culture. And that culture is a very important culture. Littering, like you spoke about garbage and littering. You'll never see the plastic on the road is not because a Goan has gone and thrown something, right? It's not.
Correct.
It's because a tourist has, right?
has
So,
done it, yes.
so just basic etiquette and kindness,
Civic sense.
and civic sense, and just overall kindness and respect, right? I think
Absolutely.
that's so important,
yeah.
and it'll become a better holiday for you or a better life for you, right? If you do that.
Like, don't make Goans feel uncomfortable in their own state.
Absolutely.
Don't make
it's like-
Goans feel imposed upon or on a back foot in their own state.
There should be a form
Yeah,
when you land on your flight or when you come in your car on the train.
Immigration.
Just a form.
Immigration.
It's a pledge. I pledge to. Bang, 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 bang.
So we will make a little format there and circulate it out there on social media as to pledge for Goa. Everybody will relate to this this pattern of having mutual respect is when you enter a metro, like Delhi or Bombay. Chahe koi kaisa bhi ho, when you enter the metro, you just become calm, quiet, and it's funny. If you notice it, if you've traveled in a metro like Delhi, Bombay, I haven't, but Bangalore. All of a sudden, everybody becomes quiet and nobody wants to disturb your space because their headphones. I used to wonder traveling abroad all over the world and people are just not interested to talk to you. They just want to be their headspace. So I think that is wherever the culture of the place is how you respect that. Whether it's a metro or you go to a mandir, then you have to follow that mandir or whatever.
Nibhrant will agree. This starts with us, the developers. How we.
So these guys are responsible for all the shit which happens. So you have to put it on them. You just took it, but okay, never mind.
So we're trying to start. We are starting to create this etiquette right in the homes. So we have strict rules in the society. For example, we don't want people blasting music after 10. We don't want a public nuisances. All these rules are being now created within the compounds of these communities. And I'm sure that once they're used to living in that way, under those few rules, they're going to also take them outside the gate.
I hope so.
Atul,
Yeah,
being
I
hope
Goan,
so, yeah.
being Goan, would you want to add a couple of? I won't call it rules. It's the wrong word to say. We don't want to set rules, like a format.
Guidelines.
Yeah, okay, something like
No,
that.
the format is basically be polite. Be polite here. I think just be decent in the way you approach it. So one of the many things I'm saying is that adapt to Goa. Don't bring your culture, outside culture here. Adapt to Goa. Adapt to how our lifestyle is. If you're coming in for our lifestyle, leave that. Don't bring in the outside lifestyle that you're already used to, you're tired of it, you're bored of it. You want to come for something new, adapt it. That's what we should be doing. We should be asking.
Breathe.
Breathe.
Like for example, Amit, if you've been to this old part of Panjim called Fontaine,
Fontaines.
there are 1,000 people walking, taking Instagram pictures, and putting their feet on the walls of these houses. They're hounding these people. We incidentally are restoring a 300-year-old building back to its glory right there. It's going to be magnificent. But there, it's so sad to see every homeowners put a big display. Don't touch my plants. Don't touch my wall. So this is something basic that has to come out from within.
People
Very nice.
walk in
There
into
was-
their houses, so there's the 125-year-old house belongs to a friend of mine. Suddenly they see this few people walking inside their house. Where are you going? Oh, we're just coming to see your house. But
It's
this,
touristic.
But it's crazy. Like, just imagine the invasion of privacy.
yeah,
right? It's someone
completely.
And I feel the government is crucial in the way forward for Goa. The standards that they set, the rules that they set, the boundaries that they create. I think those are very important for the future of Goa.
I'm going to take this from Pooja's cues. Like Pooja is like right now, is being a social Goa activist at this point of time. I don't want to say that. So no, hello. Once again, Goa growing. Remember we were talking about Goa and we have just kind of figured that Pooja is a social Goa activist and there will be a new movement starting soon. Which will be headed by Pooja. We are all followers. Just as a recap, we go to Pooja's house and shooting the next one there at her house, facing the sea and the sea waves coming.
That's in Bombay.
That's in
not
Yeah, that's Bombay. I said
Yeah.
Bombay. And then we have a 300-year-old villa which he is restoring and building. So we will have one there as well. So this is not ending. This is just the beginning
And
of
we're
whatever.
currently in Isprava.
In Isprava,
Yeah.
built by
With his
Nibhrant.
generators.
With his generator. So I want to please allow me to have Atul answer a few questions being Goan and you can be completely honest about it. So the fact of the matter is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever has caused it, there are multiple factors which have, I enjoy Goa. So I'm from Delhi, but I've a house here, so I enjoy it here. And what is Goa losing its ecosystem? I'll ask a few questions and you can answer them together. You're a local, so what problems have the local faced except the rowdyism of the North Indians? Thank you very much. And luxury is evolving. Is it sustainable? What is it?
So I think the costs have gone up for the locals. Land has become scarcer. For sure, that's the downside. It's created a lot of opportunities, which is the upside. It's created a lot of business, more jobs, for sure. Overall, I think it's been an advantage than any disadvantage to Goa. And the biggest advantage that I see, and this is what we've been talking about, is the brighter minds coming to Goa and spending time in Goa. I think this is going to evolve even further. So, to my mind, most are positives, around this developments in the last few years.
So you think it's all positive? Of course, सब कुछ अच्छा तो नहीं हो सकता जब तक कुछ.
So listen, mistakes happen. We get Amit Malhotra into Goa. Mistakes happen, but the point
That's a
is
disaster.
that- disaster
Accepted.
actually, yeah.
Full acknowledgement.
And then I also regret my part in it. So, but mistakes happen. So we
Your lunch costed you shit, man.
breakfast,
is life.
lunch.
Yeah. I think we know where Goa was, and I think we know where Goa is. And currently, we're at a very important junction, I feel, for Goa as to which way we shape the way forward for Goa.
We're responsible.
And I think yes. And given what we've seen happening to Goa, that is on the negatives versus the positives, once we assess that clearly, which I think we're all very well aware of. Now that we're aware of the negatives and the positives that are existing in Goa currently, what we do for the journey forward for Goa, I feel that is very important. So I'm basically doing wellness real estate. So I've teamed up with these wonderful people, Tron in Delhi. But these are people who've come and saying, Pooja, how can we bring wellness into homes? So I'm basically there to consult about all the, like a biophilic design, where you talk about your 5 senses, which is your sight, your smell, your taste, your
She's
touch,
selling.
your
She's
ear.
selling.
No,
Mindful.
it's very important to have mindfulness in your space. People should come to Goa not to have a party house, they should come here to have a sanctuary. When you start creating that mindset within consumers, when you bring people into Goa to have a experience which is not just a villa and 4 walls and AC everywhere, but you have a sense of nature, circadian lighting, where you have electricity generated through different ways, wastewater being channeled differently, where you're not hurting the resources, where you're adding to your quality of life and also helping the environment that you're a part of. So like with Oscar, for example, Tron and me have basically teamed up with Oscar for one of his projects, which is Lagaya, and we'll be doing 3 of his villas for him with all the instruments in place. It could be circadian lighting, it could be Vastu and Feng Shui and all the biophilic design, that is mindful corners, yoga spaces. So you come into a home with a mindset that is of peace, tranquility, being one with nature, where you have crystals to enhance and actual things that increase your quality of life. I mean, these are very important things because people should come in here and be changed. They should come in here and experience change. You don't come in with your city to Goa and stay city and go back to your city. You need to come here, and there are tools and ways to make your home integrate who you should be and come into contact with elements of nature, which is why you've come to Goa in the first place, to enhance your personal value, to enhance your holiday value, to enhance your space. The space you live in is so important, to your state of mind. A person in a better state of mind is more respectful, is more polite, is more happy. And when that person is more at peace, they go out there and they generate that peace. Right? That is very important to me. That is crucial to me. As I said, I've been doing wellness for the last 30 years, right? That's what I've done. And I want to integrate that into homes here for people and through different ventures, etc.
So if you subscribe to our channel and if you like this video, we will get you a free tour with a iced latte. Pooja will make that happen to understanding. Actually, a lot of you are just thinking what she's talking and how is actually realistically meaning is when you can actually physically see it yourself.
Absolutely.
So we will facilitate that for you, but for that you have to like it, subscribe wherever that thing comes up.
You want to see a crystal infused space. The sound of waterfalls does to the sound of running water does to your senses. Yeah. Like, subscribe,
I'll make 2 points here, please. 2 things that come to my mind. One is basically, I think Goa has to be made more family oriented. There should be more activities for the kids, for the wife. I mean, the husband wants to go to a casino, gamble. What's the wife going to do? Wait in the room. There should be more activities, more adventures created. No, we have to start building all this stuff. That's one thing. More family-oriented activities, so families can come and enjoy quality. It's not just about going to a club,
and having dinner.
And number 2, I think what we should also do is entertainment zones. Where you have no restrictions. 24 hours is blasting music which is not in the middle of a village where there are locals staying. Entertainment zones. And in these zones, we could have also real estate. So I've got a young party guy, he wants to be in the midst of all that shebang. Build him that kick-ass Playboy mansion. You know what I'm saying?
But after you finish, something just came up to my mind. This is Startup Goa. So here we are giving you multi-billion-dollar ideas because this is the need of the hour. It's like, I think I would push this to Oscar one more time and saying, okay, the Delhi walas per se killed Goa, for example, if somebody said that. But we actually helped Goa to be this Goa of today. And now I think the Bangalore walas and the Hyderabad walas and maybe the Calcutta walas, Bombay walas coming.
Wellness tourism,
right? Entertainment centers.
That's what we need.
I want to add, of course, there are lots of pointers which we'll take up further on, but I'll share a small story. Goa for me, class 11th finished. 5 of our friends took a third class train. That's all we could afford at that time. Took, I think, 24, 40, I don't know, some long hours in that Vasco da Gama Express, which changed somewhere, came to Goa. 16, 17, I guess we were. Took bikes, nobody even asked for a license. Drove around the whole place from up till Arambol, where we saw the nudies beach, which was a freaking surprise thing at that point of time.
They've all men, by the way, then.
Well, I'm not going to get into specifics. But we saw a shooting going on of an actress at that time with another actor at that time. And it was, I think, till date, one of our best trips. chilled out. River deck used to be that thing
Yeah.
at
Opposite Mandovi.
Mandovi, right? So there was this Anthony Uncle Ji there who would give us for 4 rupees a beer and Phantom cigarettes, not cigarettes,
yeah.
Phantom cigarettes.
I used to
And
love
that
those
was
Phantoms.
the most blissful trip to Kolva for an Easter night, and and the ferries which would take you, and that's planted.
Yeah.
That memory is planted. You want to share a particular emotion around a story about Goa that you have, which probably was anything. I mean, just stemming it out there.
For me, it's the Goa that I've seen at
Okay, let me
different
rephrase.
phases of my life.
Pooja, I want to
Okay,
rephrase. Is
so-
Goa? Do you fall in love with Goa? Is Goa an emotion or is Goa a feeling?
Goa is a vibe. Goa is a vibe. It's a
Exactly what
state
you
of
said.
being. It's a complete state of being where you come here and it's experiential on every level. As far as the gastronomy goes, as far as the physicality of the space goes, in terms of nature, in terms of the creative artistic expression that you have through different forms here, as I said, between the Museum of Goa or Serendipity Art Festivals or the film festivals and various other little cute things that keep happening as pop-ups. The people, the community, the local food, the local dining, the warmth of the beaches, the openness and freedom of spirit that you experience here, the quality of the homes here, the space that you have to live in. All of it for me is the Goa that I knew then and the Goa that I know today. A lot has changed, a lot has evolved, but that spirit always stays the same.
Atul?
So for me, it's an emotion that continues to be from the time of my childhood. Okay, so I'll tell you a short story. My wife and me, my to-be wife and me then rode on a bike and we went looking for a place to put up our factory. So we went from Apsa to Kamulem to Sholem to all around the place, and that place is so serene. I happened to drive with her a few days ago, that same road again, and that has changed quite substantially. Okay. There are far many homes than what they were then.
You said wife has changed or the
No. Exactly.
No, wife was here last night, so that I
I seen her
confirm.
last night. So. And then you cross the ferry, go into Tue, and then you suddenly realize that that place has remained completely unchanged. It's so beautiful, just as it was 30 years ago. But that's going to change very soon. So there's a new industrial estate come up there, and then things are going to make a difference in the next few years. But for me, it's a continuing emotion. I just love the place.
Nibhrant?
Goa's a vibe. I think, my relationship with Goa has evolved over time. When we were young, we used to jump on a train and come here after every exam,
Right.
And like you, ride around on the scooters, even though we weren't allowed to. And there was a certain pulse and a certain energy then. And I don't think that's changed. The underlying pulse and energy is the same, right? What has changed is, like you said, the superficial stuff. So you can still get that, maybe not in the same areas. I mean, if I put a pin on a map, has Baga changed? Absolutely. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
But fundamentally, that underlying vibe hasn't changed. My only fear is we need anyone coming to Goa to understand, like I said, the broad guidelines and to make that pledge, because then there's too much friction, right? And then it goes down a slippery slope. But I think going forward as well, I'm very, very hopeful. I know that, not talking purely commercially, but Goa was and will continue to be one of the fastest growing real estate.
Let's say, Pooja, of course, first of all, congratulations and best of luck for your new enterprise. Whatever you're planning does well.
Thank you.
There must have been some thought behind all of this that you're doing. I'm sure you've done other enterprises outside from Bombay or from Goa as to why you've chosen this path, because you must, as an entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur as well. You believe that something will happen. Of course, it's a commercial project and there is a holistic part to it, but there's also a commercial part to it as well.
Right.
You're investing money and putting time and effort. Why did you do this from and in Goa? And 2030, let's say, there's no something called visionary, but 2030 Goa, what does it look like to you?
Okay, so my company, Magicians of Wellness, is basically a Goa-based registered startup, right? It was formed in 2019
Okay.
in Goa. My brand is Happy Soul, And we've done multiple things. I have an online platform that is an aggregator of holistic wellness, which is already up. It basically aggregates products which are great for your skin, for your hair, for your lifestyle, etc., along with services, be it yoga teachers, Tai Chi masters. It has all of that featured on our platform. Great places to eat at that are organic or vegan. You have where to travel to for a detox holiday or spa holiday. So we're aggregators of that whole holistic wellness space. That's one aspect of it, right? And we're just about to go in for investor funding and get that.
Wow, best of luck to that, bro.
Thank you. We're trudging very well along that path. And in addition to that, I started a wellness cafes as well in Goa. And at the Economic Times Forum last week, I said I will be a unicorn company because wellness is the fastest growing trajectory and the market size is massive. And what I'm doing is a first mover's advantage. Where's my aggregator platform? I will be a unicorn. Goa will get the benefit of me being a unicorn company.
Awesome.
But it has done nothing for my growth in terms of what it has helped me with, right? But I'm still back. I'm still back in Goa to create wellness homes. I'm still here to create an ecosystem and an infrastructure that will enhance the quality of experience for Goa and people visiting Goa and the Goan residents and the locals here, right? Now there's a demographic that is the low-end demographic that comes in that has ruined Goa in many ways. There's a high-end demographic that has come to Goa which has also ruined Goa in multiple ways. We're here to seek that balance, to say how can any demographic that comes into Goa respect the system, respect the ecosystem, respect the people, and have a better quality life for themselves in Goa. How can we create Goa as the most progressive, dynamic?
So for you, 2030 as a positive optimist is what we're all stemming for, we're all rooting for.
I think Goa has incredible potential. And as far as wellness goes, I think Goa has infinite potential. And given the trajectory of the market, I think it would be the best way forward for Goa, but the politicians have to be willing.
No, that's
the
okay.
system has to be willing. I'm just saying, all of that is very necessary to what we want to create.
But what we can only do, what we can do. Oscar, you want to add for your vision of 2030 for Goa? You're investing, I guess, hundreds and thousands of crores into real estate.
They're very simple. So we always stuck to this principle of selling second homes, right?
Can you explain for everybody what is a second home? How do you get there? It's simple though. But
second home is like anywhere else in the world when your main business have done well. When your main businesses have done well, and then you get into luxuries, second home, Ferrari, all these are luxuries that come off of doing well,
right?
Of a successful
financial
enterprise.
Wellness per se.
Financial wellness. And India is a very trending, country.
Right.
When there's one, for example, one celeb moves in, you have 10 who have moved in. They want the same. So that's how it happens. So coming back to, we always concentrated Goa to be the market for a second home. 2030, kid you not, we are going to be working towards making Goa your first home.
Yeah.
Because what's happening in the rest of the country, the kind of open-mindedness here, in comparison with the rest of the country, Goa is going to have a lot of people moving in here for first homes. And that's the path ahead for my company. We are looking at creating spaces.
So get a quality check from Pooja before they move in here.
It's right, because technology has changed a lot. Technology has made it very easy for people to work out of their homes today. You don't necessarily need to be
Pooja, my office is 10 minutes away from my home and I take a lot of meetings from home.
Yeah, no, it's true. In fact, all the homes that we're designing are very AI enabled, smart homes, AI enabled homes. I think that's very important to have that great blend of technology along with holistic wellness, because all of that is part of a one. It's a wholesomeness that we will experience in the future.
Nibhrant, what's your 2 cents on 2030 Goa? You're investing. Can you talk a little bit about whatever number of homes that you're building going forward here for people? There must be a demand. That's why you're building.
No, there is demand, and there's significant demand. So let me just first kind of add to Oscar's points, and I'll give you data points. In 2019, right? So we had about 0.3% of our buyers as what we call semi-primary or primary buyers. Right, so these are people.
Can you explain this differential between
semi-primary? It's our own, but between 3 to 6 months of the year, if you stay in Goa, you're semi-primary. Over 6 months of the year, you're a primary buyer. Right, that means this is your primary home, it's your anchor. That number has now jumped to 30%. Right, semi-primary plus
from
from less than 1% to 30%
in a span of
5 years. Five or 6 years.
That's phenomenal.
Right? And why is that? Right?
But what's an absolute number? If I were to give an absolute number, it's in thousands.
So we have about over 100 people who now live in Goa as a primary or a semi-primary owner.
Right.
And if I extrapolate those numbers, I think in the next 5 years that will become the high hundreds, low hundreds, right?
Okay.
Now, why? And again, there are 2 or 3 reasons, right? Number one, the cities in which people live in are getting worse by the day, right? Neither pollution, nor traffic, nor prices. Nothing is getting better in other cities in India. So number one, the actual cities in which people are living in are crumbling. They're getting worse by the day. And we've already spoken about all the positives and the glory of Goa. Secondly, like you said, Pooja, the cohorts of people who can work from home, and technology is getting better, right? No one knew about, at least no mainstream person knew about Zoom till 2020. And now we have the equivalent of Zoom, and we believe that technology is only going to get better, right? And again, I don't know whether it's a metaverse, I don't know what it is, but it's going to get better. So more and more people can do that. The third point is that the infrastructure is being built out, right? Earlier, okay, you could do all this, but then if you had a meeting in Mumbai or Dubai or Delhi, you had to go and get on this, drive all the way to what was effectively a defense airport and not get a flight, etc. Now you have great airports, great highways, and Goa is just getting better across the board, both hard and soft infrastructure, right? Hospitals, schools, you name it, right? And therefore, like you, Oscar, we believe that larger and larger cohorts of people will move
to Goa.
The question is, what are those cohorts and what can we do? And sorry, I'm going to come to a last.
Take your time, bro.
There's a last cohort of people. These are people who, for example, live in Mumbai but are not originally from Mumbai. And when I say Mumbai, it can be Delhi, Bangalore. They're not originally from there, right? But they've gone to some IIT and now they work for a private equity fund, in my example, right? Then they say, okay, for my lifestyle, I'm going to have to buy a flat in Mumbai, but that flat's going to cost me 60 or 70 crores because that's what my lifestyle demands. So instead of that, let me spend 20 or 30 crores in a place like Goa. I get a garden, I get a place for my kids to run around, I can pick fruit and grow vegetables. And I will rent the 50, 60 or 70 crore apartment in Mumbai, right? Because I don't have an anchor there. My family is not. I still need that lifestyle, but I can rent it at a 0.8%, 0.75%, 0.1%.
Minimal.
Rental yield. So the math also makes a lot of sense.
Correct.
Right. So and then, by the way, this Goa home that costs 20 or 25 crores, I'm still renting out. So in a way, it's also covering. So it becomes.
So it's not a zero-sum game.
Not only is it not a zero-sum game, it makes a lot of sense. Right, for a lot of people, it makes a lot of
financial prudence in a way, larger picture.
And you upgrade your lifestyle. So the point I'm making is, and I just wanted to add, and to Oscar's point is, more and more cohorts of people will come here. The ecosystem needs to develop so that people who come here then go, and start businesses and employ people and add to the overall ecosystem. And I think slowly and surely we're seeing that happens. Like you said, there's some people who are good and there's some people who are not so good. And I think that will truly be a game changer. And now coming to your question, I know I added on to it.
I forgot my question only.
But
it doesn't matter. Where was I? Dude, oh shit.
What would we want, right? I think what is required is some sort of tourism policy that caters to the right type of tourist, right? And Oscar gave some good ideas. Everyone here gave great ideas around that. I think focus on the environment, and even as someone who builds home, I say that because that's the magic of Goa. So the focus on the environment, and then finally, just being able to structure it all in a way that Goa stays Goa as much as possible, right? I think that's important. And otherwise, the private markets will do the rest, right? Like people like you will come in and work on wellness and create the cafes and
others will do their own
and we'll take over 100-odd-year-old home and just make it look beautiful.
Everybody has their own senses and their space, and they'll figure that out.
Exactly.
It's like an example of London, where for whatever reasons, wherever the UK is right now, God bless the Queen. Oh, there is no more. But you can't change the color of central London homes. It's white and it remains white.
Yeah.
You can't damage any old heritage house. I have a cousin who lives in the village. They have 500 acres of farmland they can't do shit about because they want to maintain the environment.
Absolutely.
Which the flip side is they're pretty screwed because financially they can't make any money. But on the other side, they have zero pollution. And I was in the UK recently where I was told that we have zero light pollution. So when I'm from India and I don't understand light pollution, so we have no street lights around the area and the beautiful stars. A couple of days was okay. Then after that, I was like, shit, this is not gonna work. But having said that, I think in habitat, in nature, in environment, consciousness, the ability to take decisions for us and for others. And this is a request to our government and our governance that I'm sure everybody knows what's right and what's wrong. And nobody is actually right and wrong. Is to be able to make sure that do the right thing and think really long term forward, because end of the day, what we leave behind for our children and our families is exactly what we do today. So everybody does their part of the job. Atul, I wanted to ask you, you are Goan, you're the one who's maximum impacted both ways. What is your vision for 2030 Goa?
So, adding to what Oscar and Nibhrant said, one of the things we not talked about is industrialization of Goa. So, the industrial policy has been really good in attracting cleaner industries into Goa. So, I think Goa has a good industrial climate now.
So, we have a subject on that.
But the point is that if you want people to make Goa as their first home, then you could
काम भी करना पड़ेगा.
Exactly, काम भी करना पड़ेगा. Like some people ask for jobs, right? We need people to be based here, work here, create employment here. So that's something that must happen more and more. So that's when people will start buying their first homes here. And I think that's a great idea. There's going to be an electronic cluster coming. It's already coming up now. So we can see people making Goa their destination for work. Yeah. If we can convince them to stay back, and I think we've got everything here to convince them to stay back and then make their homes here.
Amit, I will add one point, very, very important point. Look at the connectivity today to Goa.
Talk to the people, man.
Yeah.
So the connectivity today to Goa, be it by road, air, and sea. For example, now we have a Ro-Ro vessel being launched in August. I mean, look at that. We have a national highway opening, which is going to take 6 hours from Mumbai to Goa. Now imagine 6 hours.
I am dying to do that drive, man.
It's an amazing drive. Your dog is at the back. You're here for the weekend. You've had an amazing weekend in Goa, and Monday you're back to work. This is all that's happening. You can send across what you want in this damn Ro-Ro. A lot of Bombay is going to come to Goa once this infrastructure is built.
Yes, the connectivity is improving. The fact is there are multiple options to get here. Also financially there are different options, because if your car can come via a Ro-Ro, your driver can also come with it. Again caters to a certain kind of quality person who's coming in. Certain segment will take the trains to come in. Certain segment will take the planes to come in. The price points have changed.
Whatever you can afford.
We need to now do something about the taxi mafia. That needs to be handled.
That's a very touchy subject.
Yeah,
very touchy
really,
subject.
Seriously.
Pooja, for example, you sit in your Range Rover in Bombay, you're at the back of the car, you're watching a Netflix series, you're 6 hours, you're in a different place.
Yeah.
Well, the vision 2030 for Goa is that you just get on the airport, get a ferry to your private house. One of our friends here is building something on the Maharashtra. What was that area called? The Nare. I don't forget.
But by then, our wellness resort will be ready in Maharashtra too.
So if you
There's lots of wellness resorts coming up. There's lots of wellness retreats coming up now in Goa.
So we have got an amazing private beach, and I hope we'll do a lot of stuff.
All right, Oscar.
So Goa 2030 will be different than where it is today. I don't know how far, but with this, we take a little short break for the moment. We'll have to have Pooja to exit because she has to catch a plane, where other people who want her more are waiting for her. So I'll let her.
And she will be in Mumbai in 2 hours connectivity.
In 2 hours connected. Zip, zap, zoom. So I'm not saying thank you to you guys because we're not done yet, but I say thank you to Pooja. We've had a wonderful experience so far. I'm sure there'll be more. Her house, and it's on. We'll set a date and we will let you guys know.
We'll also let you know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.